Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be unboxing and trying out this nail dust collector from KADS. So opening the box, this is the actual dust collector. It didn't come with anything else in it besides a instruction manual. An instruction manual was pretty basic, just went over general information like how to clean it and what not to do, such as, don't get no water on it and things like that. This is how it looks. That's the cord that is attached to it. And then that's the vent. On the other side is going to be where your client's arms would be. And that side is cushioned. So it has like a round shape to it. On the side, there's an on and off switch. There aren't any levels with this dust collector. So there's no like high, low, medium speed. It just goes at one speed. You can see the bottom. It has 3 fans. So I accidentally deleted a little bit of footage when I was taking the dust collector out of the actual box, but it does come with 2 dust bags that you will attach around those fans to catch all the dust. So now I'm going to plug it in and turn it on and let you hear how loud it sounds. Personally, I don't think it's too loud. I was expecting louder, to be honest, but I think if you were having a conversation with your client, the noise really wouldn't get in the way of that. I was also just feeling around, seeing how the suction felt, putting my hands over the vent to see if I can feel the suction going in. If you put your hands underneath the fan, you will feel all of the air coming out. It does let a good amount of air out. So I'm going to test it with my press-on nail first. This is a nail that I wore already, and it has old glue in it. So I'm just cleaning out the old glue to create as much with my nail drill as, say, breaking down an acrylic nail would. But that's why I wanted to test it, because I wanted to see if just this little bit of dust, it would gather or it would just sit there. So it did take some of the little pieces off, but I did see a couple of specks of dust on top of the vent. So now I'm going to move on to a mannequin hand that actually has some old acrylic on it, and we're going to break down that acrylic and see how it works. So to really test this out, instead of using the dust bag, I'm going to test it out with a black t-shirt, because obviously if there's dust on a black t-shirt, you're going to see it. So I have this old black t-shirt I just laid on my table. It has a little bit of lint, but no dust and nothing crazy. So we should be able to see really good if this dust collector is actually sucking up all of that dust. So right away, I start taking off this acrylic. I do notice some dust particles are falling down towards the front of the dust collector. And you can see right there on the t-shirt. And if you look towards where my arm is, where my arm and glove meet, you'll see pieces of dust flying in that direction. What I did notice is you do have to have the person's hand higher up towards the vent. So where I have it right now, where I have the hand at, that is the area that you should probably have your client's hand at. If it goes any further down, it seemed like it was collecting some of the dust, but bits and pieces were still flying, missing the vent completely and just falling down to the table, or in this case, the t-shirt on the table. So here I am trying to get the thumb part. I was holding this mannequin hand all type of ways because it's not a flexible hand. So it was really weird trying to drill off some of that acrylic. And for the bigger chunks, as you can see, I was pushing those inside the vent. But this is how the front looks. So this is what the dust collector didn't get. So decent amount of dust, but that is nothing in comparison to underneath. There's a lot of dust underneath. So I'm very pleased to lift up the dust collector and see this underneath, because I was a little concerned with just the pieces on the front. I did get pieces flying on my face. That was due to me though, just drilling like a maniac because it's a mannequin hand. And I did get some dust on me, but nowhere near as much as this, because all of this would have been on my table. It would have been on me and all over the place in my room. So now I'm going to test it out with the, and we obviously saw how much dust this dust collector gathered up, but I want to test it out with the dust bags because ultimately I'm going to be using it with those. I'm not going to be putting a black t-shirt underneath the dust collector when I'm doing nails. So I put the bag all the way around the fans. I wanted to make sure it had a snug fit because I want to test if any dust gets out. So you see this little part right here? I'm thinking that's where you're supposed to put the bag. I didn't. I put it further and put it all the way around because if dust gets out and the bag is all the way around the way I put it, then that's a problem. So we're going to put this bag around that little part there, and then I'm going to take my mannequin hand again, and obviously the dust bag is white. We're not going to see as much dust as we did with the black t-shirt because it's a black t-shirt. So we're going to see white dust, but also that fine dust, those little particles especially, we're not going to see. So I'm taking my mannequin hand and we're going to go ahead and drill again. As you can see, I put the mannequin hand more closer to the top of the vent because, like I said, that area right there seemed to be where most of the dust would go. I don't know if it was just that area or because the dust collector just wasn't sucking in like the bigger pieces of dust. Either way, for me, it works. Like, it definitely gathered up a good amount of dust. Like, I would have had to clean all of that off of my table. My whole sweater and pants and everything would have been really dusty. So it definitely works for me. I'm going to try it on clients. I am going to say I do not do much acrylic, so I did not get this with that in mind. So if I did a lot of acrylic, that means a lot of acrylic removals. I might have tried investing in something more high priced at first, but because I don't do a bunch of bulk removals, I can't see myself having to use this for every single client. So here's how much dust was at the front of the dust collector, similar to the first time I tried it out. Not too bad at all. Here goes my lap here. Definitely not too bad. I'm usually covered in dust, even for just a little bit of acrylic nail removal. Here goes my sweater here. I would say this is my dusty house sweater, and it's already linty. So there's just little pieces of acrylic on it. Nothing crazy at all. I'm very satisfied, to be honest. Like I said, the price point is there for me. It does its job. Would I recommend it? Yes, if you're looking for something budget friendly, absolutely. I think long term, you will have to invest in something more pricier, but for now, it absolutely will work for me. If you don't work with acrylic a lot, then you may not even have to invest in anything, much pricier in the future, but it works for me so far. But again, I'll let you guys know and I'll try to keep you updated. Here goes a dust bag. Just little particles you can see in there. There's some like pink pieces in there. That is from the acrylic that's on the nails. So it did collect it really well. And my table didn't have a whole bunch of dust on it. So good job with the dust bags. Here goes the side. So there's some pink acrylic on the sides there. I have a vacuum, so I'm definitely going to take a vacuum and just dust all of that clean. I believe you can take like a cloth or something like that and just wipe it off. Just take whatever, you can to wipe it off. Don't wet it, but just kind of dust it off or use a vacuum like I'm doing here. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. And Let me know if you have any questions. I will leave the link to this dust collector in the description box below. If you watched this whole video through, thank you so much again. I hope you found it helpful. I try to be as detailed as possible when I make videos. So I'm sorry for the long video or what seems like rambling, but I hope you guys enjoy your day, and I will see you in the next video. Give you guys as much details as possible.